Hello friends! So in this video, I let a random number picker pick how many hours I read a day, which was interesting. It definitely made me read more than I normally would on some of the days. I think the one day I got 6 hours, which is a long stretch of time to read, especially when you are reading a dense book. In this vlog, I am reading Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. This is a Pulitzer Prize winner, a literary fiction told in the first person. Deals with some heavy issues. The book itself is very dense. Each page is not a lot of dialogue. It is more packed with words than maybe some of the other books that I pick up to read. So anyway, this was just a fun way for me to see how many hours it would take me to get through it. Without further ado, here's the video. I hope you like it. I hope you think it's fun. And at the end, I will talk about my thoughts and if I thought it was worth the read and why it was a Pulitzer Prize winner. I was watching a video. They used a number generator to tell them how many hours in a day they need to read. I thought maybe I would try that. So I did the spinners thing and I got 2 hours. It's almost 6 o'clock and I'm going to read. I'm going to pick up a book and read. I just finished episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. I read that in over a few days, but within a total of 6 hours. It was super fast to read and it was very compelling. It wasn't the best story. It did have its creepy moments. I was invested, intrigued, but as fast as I read it, and granted, it was 420 pages and it was mixed media, super easy to read, super fast. But the ending was a total letdown. I gave it 3 stars. Mainly because the majority of the book held my interest and was creepy and compelled me to continue to read. I enjoyed the characters and the setting, but the ending was a total flop. A total shit show. What a freaking letdown. I feel like it's hard to write horror and find a satisfying ending for most people. Everybody's different in what they expect from their horror, what scares them, what they think is the climax that they desire out of horror. It felt very I wanted to punch him. So I'm about to start a new book. I'm picking up Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. So this book I picked up off of the recommendation of Jimmy Nuts. It is an Oprah's Book Club book, and it is also the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. It is pretty thick, but not too bad. My spinner told me to read for 2 hours, so I'm going to start, probably read for an hour, take a break, and then read again until bed. I will let you know how it goes. Hazel is over here and she's going to read with me. This sun's killing me. All right, I'm going. Bye. So I'm only 15 pages in. The very first thing that stands out to me when I opened this book and started reading it was the distinctive voice of the main character. About a boy who is born to a teenage mom who has addiction problems and they are poor. And so it is very clear through his first person account, his way of life, their way of life, things that are normal to him but are clearly familiar to those who struggle, who have less. Free lunches at school and the spending most of the time at the neighbor's house. The language that he uses. If I can grasp that it's so strongly within the first 15 pages, I can only imagine what I'm about to read. And from what I understand, this is a harrowing tale. It is a retelling of Charles Dickens's David Copperfield. I am very curious to see where this is gonna go. I have a feeling it's gonna be a tearjerker. So my timer said that I had to read for 2 hours. I have an hour and 20 minutes and it is now 8 o'clock. I will at least read till 9:20, if not longer, and I'll check back in with you. No. Been reading for an hour and a half, and I'm taking a little break because my eyes are feeling a bit strained. But I just wanted to say I am like 90 pages in now. I mean, this book is a little bit of a slower read for me just because it's a lot. There's a lot of words on the page. It's not a whole lot of dialogue. Every page, you know, is pretty packed full of words. But I will say I find it so interesting and refreshing to read from this character who obviously has a shitstorm thrown at him, like every possible curveball that a child could endure, he is stuck with it. Still, he manages to find some humor and ways to entertain himself and positivity. There are many things in this story that I relate with and many things I don't relate with, but Barbara Kingsolver has done such a fantastic job in creating this character and this perspective. Obviously, I'm not very far into it. He's still a young kid. He's in middle school, I think, and dealing with a drug-addicted mother and a stepfather who is horrible and abusive to him and to her. Seeing the ways that he deals with these things and he finds a positive and he still makes friends and learns, uses his disadvantages to his advantage. So with his mom being an addict and being in rehab, she said her future was me, that I was 100% of her reason for getting sober. I could see how this was supposed to make me feel great, but honestly it hit me as one more thing to worry about. What if she turns around in a month and gets shit-faced again or starts using? What does that tell you? That I wasn't a strong enough reason. What I mean, like for such a young child and having such a heavy weight on his shoulder, he has such great insights. I think an adult before his time. I'm really enjoying it. That's a little slower, but I mean, you know, it's like a character study. Dives deep into each person that he meets, every friend that he makes, and so you get a little bit of their backstories as well. I think it's only going to get better from here, so. So I just hit the 3-hour mark. Man, I think I'm like 138 pages in. Oh my God, it has me crying already. I really don't mean to keep crying. I don't know why I can't stop. Oh my God, this poor kid. It is killing me. This poor kid cannot catch a break. He's just this really sweet kid, and he's trying so hard to belong and find his place and to, I don't know, to just be, to fit in and to be happy. And it feels like one thing bad after another happens. Eventually I don't want to say too much because I don't know if I want to make this spoilery or not. Needless to say, I kind of knew that this was going to happen, and this is Hazel. I knew this was going to happen. I shouldn't be surprised that I'm already freaking crying, and I'm not even halfway through. Hi, baby. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Thank you. She knows I'm upset. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to make this spoilers, but I will just say that this kid has a rough road, and my heart just breaks for him. And also, I find some aspects to it are I relate with him. I relate to some of these things in some ways. Makes it hit just a little bit harder. But he has his little squad and they're there for him, and so he does have positive in his life, even if they are few and far between. It is 7 o'clock and I need to take a break. I've only been reading for 3 hours, which is only half of what I was supposed to do. So I think I still will get another 2 hours in tonight, and then I may just carry over that last hour to tomorrow and add it to whatever I get tomorrow. Just because I had to take a little bit of a break because it's like eye strain. It was allergy season, so I can already tell that I'm gonna love this book, and it's gonna be one that I highly recommend. Although I do feel it is a little bit of a slow burn. Like there's a ton of information, a ton of character development and setting information, but it's told in this voice, and it's great. Okay, check back in with you later. So I spun the wheel 1 hour, but I also have an hour and 15 minutes that I need to add to it from yesterday where I didn't get my whole 6 in. So I think that's easily doable. I mean, I easily read for 2 hours each day. I'm glad it wasn't 8 because I don't know if I could have done 9 hours of reading. We'll probably go over that today, or at least hit 2 for sure.
About the things we used to do. No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all.
So I read for just under an hour today, but it felt very broken up. I kept getting interrupted and having to stop for different reasons. Literally attacked by cicadas. I ran back in the house. I sat down to read, and I think I read for another 20 minutes, and then my phone rang. So needless to say that a few times that happened, I read for, 55 minutes. I still have like an hour and a half worth of reading to do to meet my number today. It is like 5:20. I'm about to dig in, and I'm hoping to read until at least 7. I'm only 188 pages. Wish me luck. I have a half an hour left. I'm gonna take a break. It's actually 6:40. So I'm about at the halfway point, I think. Not quite, but almost. Some good things are actually starting to happen, which is refreshing and nice for a change, because it felt like everything that could go wrong for him was going wrong for him. The one thing I did notice is the use of a motif that is superheroes. Demon is constantly drawing superheroes. It's like his fallback. So whenever he is having a hard time of it, it's just what he does. It's his release, turning people in his life into superheroes and giving them their superpower. He almost turns bad situations into something less edgy. It's like he's taking the edginess off. He's diminishing their badness a little bit. That was interesting because you know what a superhero represents: hope and honor, and this poor kid has seen nothing but heartache and turmoil. But no crying today, so that's a win. There's still quite a bit more book to come, and I'm sure that it's not all roses and sunshine from here on out. But it is nice to see him get a little bit of a turn for the good. I feel like things are going a little bit too well, and I'm waiting for the hammer to drop. And of course, in every situation, he always has an adversary. How a kid in middle school constantly has somebody at his back, I'll never know. But he does. Things are going good. It's amazing to me how well Barbara Kingsolver can write her characters. So good at finding these intricate details specific to each character, and they're all so different, vivid. They like jump off the page, and you can't help hating them or loving them. All of these different things. Like, she just has such a way with bringing them to life. I love it so much. Even the bad characters that you hate, for her to really make you hate a character just within a few pages really says something. This section just goes to show poor Demon has become this cynical person even at such a young age, and it's really pretty sad. So the impossible happened. In due time, a school would be owned by Demon Copperhead in his members-only jacket. He should have been the happiest damn fool ever. But no, he's waiting for the shit to hit the fan, looking behind whoever is being nice to him that day to see what's coming. Still your jack shit homeless orphan, just faking it in nice clothes. I'd done nothing to deserve good luck, and I knew what people were made of. Sooner or later, they will turn on you or die. But I mean, that's literally the summation of his life to this point. So you can't blame the kid for waiting for the hammer to drop. And I think everybody reading the book is doing the same thing, which is sad. You're just talking about Coach, who's the man who took him in. He said nothing, I said nothing. What you noticed on Coach after the teeth bulging behind his shut lips was the eyebrows and the hard, blue-eyed squint. He wore his red general's cap at all times, so it was a shock to see him that day without it. An old man's white hair sticking up uncombed, like I'd caught him in bed. I felt like I'd messed up already. It's almost bedtime. Book is f***ing ruthless. This kid is getting his ass handed to him hand over fist. He's living his life. Things are looking good. And he just gets handed one f***ing stick after another. But I tell you, she is treading on common issues found within America that are not specific to people living in poverty and are rampant, horrible, and I feel like, okay, so this middle part of the book is pretty slow. While I understand getting to know this kid, getting to know the people around him, fully getting the spectrum of his life and how things are going down, I'm sure this is going to make for a very hard-hitting ending, but holy shit, man. Holy shit. I just want to, like, shake this kid. Sometimes he is on a roll and he's doing great and he's killing it and he has talent. He has all these things going for him, but yet he somehow always seems to choose to do the wrong thing, or something really shitty happens to him. The wrong choices are made for him, or it sends him down a spiral storm, which is very frustrating when after, like, I'm at 340 pages in. By this point, I'm feeling very familiar with him and feeling very attached in the fact that I'm rooting for him and I want him to do well, persevere where his mother and his father did not. Actually, I just have a feeling that's not going to be the ending to this story, which kind of pisses me off. I mean, not pisses me off. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I've got 2.5 hours in. I still have another hour and a half to go. I only have like 100, maybe 120 pages left to read in this book, so I'm hoping that this will finish off this book. So let's go. Let's finish the damn thing. So I finished the book last night. I'm gonna give it 4.5 stars because there was a decent amount of time in this book where I felt a little bit bored, but I feel that the overall message in here is very relevant and important. I thought that it was very well written, and she really just packs so much detail and information into this book in every paragraph. I don't think there's any word in here that does not have a purpose. It is just stunningly written. This is Demon Copperhead's story, and he tells it in the first person, and it takes you from his childhood all the way into his early adulthood. He is born at a disadvantage where his mother was a teenage mother, his father died before he was born, and his mother was a drug addict. This is his struggle throughout his entire life. She just packs so much in here. The way it's told, you really feel like you have been with him through his entire life. You have been a moth on his shoulder with a bird's eye view, just there for everything, experiencing his emotions. You can understand them because you know his history, you know the people that he's involved with. And it reads like a memoir in a lot of ways. And if you don't know, this deals very heavily with the topic of drug addiction, any addiction really, but mainly drug addiction, the opioid crisis in America. So it was really heartbreaking to read the downfall of this character that you have grown so fond of through the pages. I feel like throughout this vlog, you really got a little bit of insight, my emotional journey with this book. And I did try to steer clear of spoilers because I like to be able to include people who haven't read the book. I don't want people who haven't read the book to not want to watch and experience and see what a great read this really was. I understand why it won the Pulitzer Prize 100%. It definitely talks about and incorporates current topics, relevant topics, important topics that are maybe not talked about enough. The ending, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but the ending is a little bit open-ended, although satisfying. We'll just leave it at that. If you like literary fiction, if you like memoirs, if you like fiction that talks about real life relevant topics, if you like kind of hard-hitting fiction, then this might be something you want to pick up and delve into. It definitely is very raw and visceral and emotional. I'm glad I read it. I think that's gonna wrap it up. So it was really fun doing this random number generator. I think I read this book in a total of, like 16 hours total, which is pretty good because it's pretty chunky for, it was 542 pages of heavily wordy pages. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.